Okay, I think I got that problem figured out. Let me give my little spiel again. Welcome to the second hour of Transmissions from a Dying Planet. Our guest in the second hour is my old buddy Rob Sterling of Konformist fame. And in light of recent events, I thought it was an opportune time to bring Rob on to discuss a couple of sketchy individuals he's had encounters with over the years by the names of Sean David Morton and the amazingly Randi. Hey, welcome, Rob. How you doing?
That's great. It's a pleasure to be here on your show, and I do hear you well now.
Good deal. So, where to start? Let's jump right into Sean David Morton, if you don't mind.
Yeah. I don't know. Does your audience need some sort of introduction to this guy, you think? Or
that would help.
Let me give a little bit of recent background on him. An article from ABC News by the esteemed journalist Matthew Jaffe. It says, investment psychic accused of financial fraud. Fed says America's prophet, Sean David Morton, built investors out of millions. And basically, the article reads thusly. Note to investors, if someone claims to be a prophet and promises to win you money by predicting changes in the stock market, don't walk away, run. And it goes on to talk about how over 100 investors allegedly got built by Mr. Morton. In all, investors gave Morton more than $6 million in the hopes that he would use his alleged psychic abilities to win big money in the market. And when this news story broke, it was about a month and a half ago, it didn't surprise me one bit because I have another friend, 10 years ago or so, got caught in a similar scam that Morton was a point man for, where it was once again one of these new age deals where he's using psychic abilities to predict changes in the stock market. So, and I know you have some past history with Mr. Morton. I thought this was a good time to pile on him and Morton Smackdown.
By the way, a little clarification there. I mean, at least in the one previous case that I know of, wasn't just a point man. He was basically .0. That it looks like he was the beginning and ending of this fraud. And the term that's kind of got bandied about him, which I think is a term that's going to stick, is that he's the New Age Bernie Madoff. So that's not a good label to put on someone, but it's a pretty accurate one in this guy's case, because what it appears he was doing is he was like siphoning off like half the profits of the thing and then investing the rest. So it wasn't just that he was doing bad investments. It was just that he was just siphoning off the money for his own personal pleasure, and running basically a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, that seems what always happens with, if you watch American Greed, they get greedy and start siphoning off the money into other areas, ripping off their investors. Yeah,
and that's the case. At least the one that I know of. There's actually, I'm sure, multiple people. So I think we know of one case the same. You may even know other cases, and I've kind of gotten the hit of other people where that's the case. So this guy, is a serial fraud artist.
Yeah.
But having said that, my first actual encounter with him was, I think, in 1997 when I went to this in Los Angeles, this whole life expo that they had there, and I remember seeing him very vividly. We didn't really speak, but we were like right near each other. I remember that, somehow I kind of vaguely knew who he was even beforehand, and so when I saw him, I kind of knew who he was. But he had, like, sunglasses on inside this thing, and he was trying to you get the impression that he was giving off this aura, like he was this really deep, enlightened individual. And my general feeling is if you're really that deep and enlightened, you don't have to let anyone know. You don't have to, 10 years superior to others. So, you know, right away, my con artist scam, what do you call it? The radar was just going off the charts with this guy. And then this is something a lot of people don't know about, is I used to be friends with a guy named, not that we ever stopped becoming friends, we just haven't really spoken much lately, this photographer named Sean Kinney, who was also in the original Star Trek series. He was the I forget commander, the guy before Kirk, who was like the head of the Star Trek Enterprise. And he was the one who was immobilized and couldn't speak.
Oh, that was Commander Pike.
Yeah, Commander Pike. It was two Commander Pikes. He was the one that was motionless and couldn't speak.
Yeah.
And then they had another one play him. And so he was an actor of kind of some, notoriousness in a good way, but occasionally go on that whole Star Trek convention circuit. Real nice guy. Had a photographer. That's how I got to know him. And apparently because he was really into the whole New Age movement and stuff, and he got to know Sean David Morton, and they kind of became friends. And Sean David Morton had this whole idea to do this documentary on how Hitler actually faked his death and lived in Argentina or Brazil as a priest. And Sean was kind of like interested in it and everything, and was telling me about it. And already, I had this bad impression of that guy, but I figured whatever. Fortunately, actually, for Kenny, for some reason, like, he was talking about it, like, yeah, we're going to do it. Like, and the day before they were going to start working on it, Morton just stopped talking to him, which is kind of, we probably did Sean Kinney a favor, actually, because, probably he would have ended up, if they ended up doing a project, they'd probably be raising money, and Morton would have stolen it all and left Kinney holding the bag. So, by the way, I hope you don't mind me saying this stuff on your show, these speculations, because, I'm not sure if...
That's exactly why I brought you on, to stir the shit up.
Well, okay, yeah, because, I wouldn't be surprised. Morton's a pretty uncredible guy, but, I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to sue, even though what I'm saying is basically the truth.
Hey, let me share a disclaimer, though. The views expressed by our Bob Erling are not necessarily those shared by your hosts, Adam Gorightly and Vyzygoth, or Major League Baseball.
I'm glad you did that. Okay, now I can feel even better to rip away. So, it's just my own speculations and opinions. How I really got to know him, I think it was in, I want to say it was in it was somewhere in that 98-2000 era. And Konformist, the editor of Steam Shovel Press, a very dear friend of mine, was in town, and I was hanging out with him and Acharya S., writer best known for the Christ Conspiracy books. And, boy, I hope they don't mind me linking them to this, even though probably good for them anyways, because, it's an interesting story. And
I have been in communication with Acharya recently because I let her know we were doing this show, and I don't think she'd mind.
Yeah, I don't think she might either. I'll get into that more later on. But she, we decided to meet more. I think Ken was on his show, in fact. So we actually went to his compound, which is in what city? It's the same one that's actually in that video that I think is on ABC News, where they actually show outside his compound. It's one of those cities in Southern Cal near LA.
Right.
In any case, we went there, and then